Hi and welcome to my channel. In today's video, it's all about my favourite fruit, strawberries. I'll be showing you how to grow strawberries from seed and how to plant strawberry plants, and I'll be creating a strawberry bed where unfortunately I find the dreaded bindweed. So let's get growing. The best time to plant out new strawberry plants or grow them from seed is April, so this is the perfect time to get going on this. And it really couldn't be simpler. You can see on this strawberry how many seeds there actually are, and all I've done is bought my favourite brand from the supermarket and I'm taking the seeds from that. I'm using my nails just to pick out the seeds. You could use tweezers, I guess. And I'm just popping each one on a piece of kitchen towel. Then all I'm doing is just rolling the seed around on the piece of kitchen towel and getting rid of any strawberry and any juice so that I'm just left with the seed. Now you can either leave these to dry for a couple of days and then pop them in a paper envelope and sow them next year, or you can get straight on with sowing them now. Strawberry plants are really easy to grow from seed. On the way to school to pick up my daughter, I found this strawberry plant growing in between the wall and the pavement, and it's even got flowers on it ready to fruit. So I grew some strawberries from just a punnet that I bought from the supermarket, and the variety is called Zara, and this is one of them. I planted it up last autumn and it's remained kind of fairly small since then, but that's fine because they are dormant throughout the winter. But now it's time to pot it on into a bigger pot, and eventually I'll harden it off and put it in the main strawberry bed. So let's pop this little fella on. I'm just using a blend of multi-purpose peat-free compost with some perlite. If you want more information on peat-free compost, then check out this vlog. I'll leave the link in the description below. So I'm just going to support the topsoil with my fingers and hands and just gently tip out the plant. You can see it's got some roots, but it's not got loads because it's still very young and it's early in the season. So I'm going to be really careful not to break any of those roots. I'm going to pop it in the pot and I'm just going to fill around it with some additional compost and firm it in gently. And all that's left to do is just to label it up, give it a drink, and keep it somewhere warm on a windowsill until about mid to late April, and then it can probably go in the greenhouse. If you don't have a greenhouse, just harden it off outside during the day, bring it in at night until it's ready to go in your strawberry pot or strawberry bed. Now, speaking of strawberry beds, this is what will become my strawberry bed. It'll have a mixture of sort of oldish strawberry plants, new ones that I've grown from seed, and ones that I bought online a couple of years ago. So a real mix. But once the strawberry plants get to about 3 or 4 years old, you really need to replace them with new ones, either by seed or runners. And I can even grow them vertically up the fence as well if I like. Strawberries like a nice sunny spot with fairly free draining soil, but definitely lots of manure or home compost dug into it. So as I began weeding this bed, I did come across the dreaded bindweed, and this was a huge problem in the garden when we first moved in many years ago, and we still do have patches of it, and this is one of them. And it's between us and our neighbour's fence where it kind of grows. It's very difficult to dig all of it out, but each year I do my best to just dig down as far as I can and take out as much as I can. If you have bindweed in any of your garden, make sure that you do dig down as far as you can. And this isn't in slow-mo. I'm literally digging this slowly and carefully, because if any part of it breaks, and it is quite brittle, if it breaks or snaps off, that will make another whole new plant. So really important to collect up any pieces that have snapped or broken off, and don't put them in your home compost or green bins. Definitely put them in the rubbish. And here you can see it's grown up through the bed, through the wood even of the raised bed, and right underneath it where I just can't really get to it, so I'll just do as much as I can. And yeah, what can you do? This little bunch of plants here, they're actually self-sown poppies. So I'm going to dig those up, separate them out and pot them on to use elsewhere in the garden or give away to family and friends. Okay, so I've got out all the weeds and I've lightly dug it over and I've added lots of manure, which I'm just going to also incorporate. This is one of my pots of strawberry plants which will move into the strawberry bed, but you can see that there's a runner that connects the parent plant to the baby plant, and that's a good way of getting free plants, just making sure that that runner has contact with the soil. Eventually it will root and you can just cut that piece away. By the way, if you have really young or new plants and they start to put out runners, cut those off straight off. We want to conserve as much energy as possible for the plant to produce roots, so we don't want it producing runners, so snip those off as soon as you see them. Okay, so I'm just going to get my fork and just gently prise up one of the strawberry plants, and then with a pair of secateurs, I'll just snip off any dead leaves or any runners and tidy it up a bit. And whilst I was digging, I came across these two, and they're moth caterpillars, I think. So I'll pop them somewhere safe in the garden. Here are all the strawberry plants that I dug up from the pot, and no, it's not snowing, that's actually sawdust. My husband's decided to do some woodwork. So I'm going to plant out each one, and they need to be about a foot apart. And you don't need a dedicated strawberry bed like this. You can grow them in a pot or a container of some description or just a grow bag. So here is the finished bed. Hello! And I've just got the other side to do. So next, just water them in really well, and as soon as I see the flowers starting to emerge, I'll pop some straw around each plant. They're called strawberries for a reason. And the straw also helps to keep the moisture in the soil and lift the fruits up so they don't go rotten. Looks like I'm not the only one who's really busy in the garden today. And even though I really don't like bindweed and I find it so frustrating when it's constantly coming through, it is kind of satisfying when you find a nice big section that you just pull out like that. Look at this one. Now, if you've noticed any white fungus that's growing in any wooden containers that you've got or wooden raised beds like this one, don't panic, it's fine, it doesn't harm anything. Again, I'm just chucking on some manure and lightly digging it in. Again, just planting a foot apart or so. These are slightly older strawberry plants, so they may need to get replaced next year, but hopefully they'll produce something this year. And I've got plenty of space left for all of the new ones that I'll be growing. So this is it finished for now, and I'll harden off the ones that I've grown from seed during the day and bring them back into the greenhouse at night. But I hope to be able to plant them in the strawberry bed during late April. Well, that's all for today. If you like this vlog, give it a thumbs up and I'll see you in the next video.